Hi there. Harmony Gates here again with words of wisdom. Let's see what happens. Um, I was with a client of mine this afternoon, and at one point in our interaction, she realized how exhausting it is to be thinking constantly when she's with someone else. What do they want from me? What do they need from me? That way of being with someone was exhausting, as I said. We talked a little bit about that, and she asked me how long I had known for myself that way of being was unworkable. How long had it been since I recognized that I was doing that in my own life and had quit? So she asked me to create a video about it. So here I am. And I took a few notes, just sort of reflecting how that process has been for me. And what I came up with was a kind of a series of events. I don't know that I at one point just went, oh, that's it, I'm done, never doing that again. But more like, like step by step, almost going up a ladder to a place where at this point in my life, I'm not with someone thinking, gee, I wonder, who they need me to be or what they want from me or how I'm supposed to show up or if I'm doing it right or, am I, do they see me how they want to or need to or what are they criticizing in me? None of those thoughts are happening. None. Except occasionally, really rarely when I'm like, hi, you want to play? And someone's like, ugh. And I might think, what the hell's going on with them? Or did I come in too fast? And then I realize, oh, no, that's just where they are. I'm who I am and I'm clear. My intentions are clear to me. My assumptions, not assumptions, my intentions, there's another word I'm seeking for that's not coming, so we'll leave that alone. My attitude, I guess. My attitude, which is, hey, I'm good, people. Do you want to play? And if so, what do you want to play? I'm here, let's play together. Play life. So thinking back, I remember, I think the strongest first indication that I had of this pattern was when I was living in Hawaii and sharing, living in the backyard of someone's house in a little teepee house. It was so awesome. But she had a little 2-year-old boy who used to come back and visit me. And I was in my early 30s, I think. And he would come and want to just be with me and hang out with me alone without his mom. And I was like, I don't know how to be with you. Like, what do you want from me? Like, what does this kid need from me? Like, who do I be with him? And it was so uncomfortable. I was like acutely aware of this, like this discomfort and this confusion about what was going on. And at some point I recognized it wasn't right in that moment, I don't think, but I actually went through the work even while I was still there to realize, oh, he wants me to be me. That he doesn't have a picture of who that's supposed to be, or he doesn't have an expectation. He's just like, who are you? Let's play. And I'm like, I don't know. Who do you need me to be? And he was like, he's 2. He just needs and wants a real person who knows who they are to hang out with him. And I realized, boy, do I have a lot of work to do, because I have no idea who I am. Because I've always been the person who became what other people needed me to be, starting in my childhood with a mother who just was depressed a lot and didn't know how to connect. So I would try to figure out what she needed and how to connect with her, and also how to stay out of her way when she got angry. And my attention was out there all the time, trying to figure out what other people needed, mostly so I could stay safe. But I spent so much time and energy doing that, I didn't know who I didn't have a me. I had this capacity to read into other people and figure out how to be in a way that kept them happy. And I'm just thinking now, sitting a few years later, maybe 5 years after that, after having spent 3 years in a religious cult, another story, working with a therapist, asking me what I wanted. I was going to go visit my dad, who I was not raised with. So he was a virtual stranger to me. And here I was going to set out and visit. And she was saying, "Oh, what are you going to do with him? What do you want to do?" And I said, "I don't know. Maybe we'll go fly fishing." And she said, "Oh, do you like fly fishing?" And I said, "No, I don't even know anything about it, but my dad fly fishes." So what he wanted was what I wanted. That was it. That's the only way I knew how to be. And that's how I treated my intimate relationships. When I found somebody that wanted to hang out with me, I was all over trying to figure out what they needed and who they needed me to be, rather than presenting myself as a person they could relate with. Well, I didn't even know who that self I might present might even be. So it's a long journey for me. As you can see, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. But a couple other incidents I think I'll name, and then I'll probably have to sign off due to time limitations. But one that sticks out for me is I learned how to do massage therapy. And one day I was working with a brand new client who I didn't know, and he had a special kind of problem going on in his leg. And I had learned just to tune in to myself and sort of empathically feel into someone's body as if it were my own. So just really follow my intuition and trust what I was doing. And for a moment, I noticed with him that I was in one moment, I had this moment of, wait, is this what he needs? Or am I just doing, like, am I giving him what he needs? And I doubted that, and I paused, and I remember asking him, like, am I doing what you need? And he said, "Everything you're doing is fantastic. You're right on." And in that moment, I got a glimmer about trusting myself. Like, I could actually know what I know and go with that and not need an outside authority to validate me. Another moment I remember is when I had opened a bakery with a couple of friends, and I was so excited about it. It was like the first time I really worked with other people and created a little entrepreneurial business. This was in Montana. And I got on the phone with my mother, who, another story altogether, as you'll hear. But I had no idea I was doing this until I got her on the phone, and I said, "Hey, I started this bakery," and I was all excited, and I, was telling her of my success, and she just, almost as cold as could be, said, "You don't need my approval." And I remember how stunned I was in the moment. First of all, I didn't even realize I was seeking her approval, not really consciously. And then if I wasn't going for her approval, what the fuck was I doing? Like, why was I doing what I was doing? And deep inside me, I was looking for mom's approval, boyfriend's approval, teacher's approval, everyone else's approval, and oblivious to the fact that if I need their approval, there was something really off, I realized, about prioritizing others' approval over my own. And not only that, that it was self-abusive. It was self-oppression, to live for someone else's approval and not actually listen to what's inside of me, and not actually let myself know and trust and accept and approve of what I wanted. I still didn't even know what I wanted, because all I wanted was others' approval. So that was a real turning point for me. I guess the other piece I'll say is that once I started really listening to myself and my own needs and my own wants, and letting those be okay, not having to check with somebody else. Why do you think it's okay if I want this? Does it feel okay to you if I do this? Is this appropriate? Am I going to get shamed for this? It still comes up at times when I'm at an edge of, putting myself out in front of people. There's that voice that says, are you gonna shame yourself? You're gonna embarrass yourself? Because part of me is like, well, I need their approval. I need them to like me. Very exhausting. And another exhausting piece is when I'm with someone who is looking for my approval, who's trying to find out what I need them to be and what I want from them. And I'm like, dude, nothing. I just want to love you as you are. And I can't hold that for you. Don't make me do that work of being your authority. You find your own inner authority and you bring to the table who you are. And then I'll meet that. And we'll see what's there. But I can't, even if I thought that I could get what I want by, in this sort of sneaky way of manipulating you by figuring out what you want and then giving you that. You see how sneaky that is? It's so twisted, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And when I actually, in a sense, succeed and I get somebody to like me for the way I'm being to please them, the deepest part of me that wants to feel loved and lovable for who I am is still starving, is still lonely, because that part of me isn't being expressed. That is not what's being loved. Only my way that I perform is what's being loved. And so the deep fear when I'm acting that way, the deep fear that's left is, but I'm still not lovable, apparently. I don't know if I'm lovable, because I can't really be myself and then let the love come towards me if it wants to. Yeah, I'm still holding back love from myself. And that's the key for me, is finding that place, remembering that place. First, initially finding it. I did not know what self-love was at all. No clue. No clue how to find it, feel it at all, like 30 years ago. But I didn't know I thought I knew how to love a child. And I thought, well, what if I feel that, I generate that feeling, and then I imagine myself receiving it? And that was a little trick that I concocted. And it actually worked. It worked a little bit. It worked just enough for me to imagine what it would feel like to be the recipient of deep, unconditional love. And I've learned how to deepen and expand that in myself, so that that's the place, that's my home. That's the place I know. That's the place I trust. And I am full there. I am nourished there. I am accepting of myself, compassionate toward myself. And I trust myself. I trust that deep self. And I know when I'm starting to get anxious, especially in relationship, somehow I flipped it around again, and I'm sort of looking outside myself to find that sense of trust and value. And I just need to flip it back and remember who I am. Remember that, yeah, it's okay to be full of myself. I'm the center of my own universe. And I get to be that. And I have no apology whatsoever for that. I am shameless. So that's my brief little historical journey. And there's always more. So thanks for listening.